For further analysis on this story, we are joined by Ben Aris in Berlin. He's an editor-in-chief at BNE IntelliNews. Ben, great to see you. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. Tell me, why does Donald Trump think that holding elections in Ukraine will somehow change the dynamics of the war?
I think they see that Zelensky as an obstacle, in so much as Zelensky's been taking a very hard line and he's refused to give up any territory. And this whole deal turns on conceding to Putin's demand in some form of conceding territory. And I think they just want to get rid of him and put someone a bit more docile into place or amenable to doing the territory deal, because then that will bring the war to the end. And Trump has made it very clear that he wants to bring this war to an end as fast as possible. And he doesn't really care too much about how that happens.
I mean, some interesting words there by you, Ben. When you say put someone there, are you indicating that if there are elections in Ukraine, there will not be democratic elections?
No, they will be democratic. I mean, the two revolutions that Ukraine has been through has created a vibrant civil society, and the fixing elections it's easy in Russia. It happens every election, and in Ukraine that's no longer possible. But that's not to say that the US will not interfere. And Nuland, the secretary there, was on the square in Maidan and was pushing for a preferred team. And they will be supporting someone who they think is amenable. But at the bottom line, I mean, elections in Ukraine are democratic, but it's not to exclude some US interference.
Okay. Now, of course, tensions are high in terms of getting a ceasefire deal. Zelensky's team is working on a draft proposal of the peace deal that was initially proposed by the United States. I mean, in terms of what has happened over the last month, especially, Ben, how likely do you think is it that we will see some sort of a concrete agreement in the next few weeks?
It's not a given, but put it this way. I mean, this is the first serious attempt to bring this war to an end since the Istanbul meeting in 2022. And my take on it is we're in the second round now. So there was a US-sponsored 28-point plan that was released at the start of the month. And then the EU responded with their version. But what's happening now following the meeting in Moscow is that we have a concrete 27-point plan that more or less the Kremlin's agreed to. And Zelensky his team was debriefed on the details of that. And they've come back following a London meeting at the start of this week with a 20-point version. But in effect, the two presidents are now talking to each other. We haven't had that before, in so much as indirectly through the envoys, the US envoys, but they are listening to each other's demands now and responding to them and working towards some sort of compromise. The Washington Post reported this morning that the US is now proposing some sort of demilitarized zone. And that dodges the key question of territories, of like who owns the regions in the occupied regions. And that's the sticking point. And this DMZ proposal may be a way of getting around that and compromise at both sides. But the thing is, it's not given that Zelensky will agree to that, but we're very close to being able to do a deal if someone gives a little bit more room.
That's Ben Aris. Ben, thanks very much for joining me here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.